You ready, boss?
Yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name's Adam Stone. I have Matt Williams with me. I'm a real estate attorney, Matt's a contractor. We have, as you guys know, we have a project, a group that we're looking to form based on real estate investment. And we want to help educate anybody who's willing to learn about what we're looking to do in terms of investing in San Diego community. So, with that being said, Matt, maybe you can give everybody a little bit more about yourself and tell everybody what we're looking to do with this project.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I hope everybody's doing good today. So basically what's going on, my name is Matt Williams. I've been doing flips for a couple years now. We started in Atlanta. We've done, doing some things out in Dallas and now moving into San Diego. The San Diego market's really hot. You guys know that, at the end of the day, things in San Diego are moving fast. There's a lot of money to be made, a lot of good times. So what we're trying to do is educate people on basically, understanding what goes into a flip, right? So, the last time I kind of gave out some information through Adam, and again, we're gonna kind of push this process out from the beginning this time. So, what we're looking to do first during the flip is to do demo, and I'll just what I'll do right now is I'll just break down the process of walking through a flip, and then what we'll do is we'll say, hey, I'll pass this back to Adam, and then we'll kind of start talking about more of the process as far as financial and things like that. But we'll kind of walk through what it's gonna look like, right? So right now, Florence is a 2-1. It is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, has a living room, dining room area. Our plan, and it's zoned for quads, right? So we can add additional units because the lot size is 9,000 plus square feet, right? So our idea and what we're going to come up with, and because there's a bunch of things you could do, right? You could technically just take that house, redo it the way it is, and put it right back on the market and make a couple $1,000, right? You could always do that. Our idea is to maximize the square footage, maximize the laws that are given to us. So what we're going to do is immediately take that house and push it into a 3-2, right? So we're going to add a bathroom. We're going to add a bedroom. Doing that, we're going to probably raise the value of the house, probably $70,000. So that immediately puts value into that home. The second thing we're going to do is there's a garage that is detached, but is attached to the home. It's stuck onto the home, but it is a detached garage. You can't get into the garage through the house. So our plan is to take that garage and to convert it into a studio. So that will also be an income producing property. So now you have a 3-2 with a studio on the side. That's an extra income producing property. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to add an addition to the property. So this property is 881 square feet. Once we permit the garage, that square footage goes into that property. So now it adds that square footage. And then we're going to do an addition on the other side, and it'll be an addition, but it'll also be a separate unit. So it will have a door, right? So anytime you do an addition to a existing structure, you do have to have entrance into that structure. So into that structure. But what it will be a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, or a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So we haven't decided. We're looking at permits right now to make sure we can figure out what works best. But right now, that's the plan. Once that is done, right? Once we've completed that process of the flip, we will then refinance that property. We will then move into the back of the property where you can do quads, and we will build the quads out. Is there any questions at this point? Does anybody have any questions about that process or anything like that? Go ahead, Robin. I can't hear you. You're on mute. I can't hear you still. You're off mute, but I can't hear you.
So we should be able to hear you now.
I can't hear him. He's back on mute.
I'm trying to reset it.
Matt, you can hear me?
I can.
Yeah, he has to call in with his audio.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So Robin, you got to call in using audio. So if it's not working this way, you might want to call in the number from a phone line and maybe just ask the question there. And you can stay on video or you can jump off, but you might need to call in if your video is not working.
You can also put a question in the chat too, and
Yeah.
I'll read it to the group. Okay.
Okay. So and I'll just give you guys a little brief history about so once we move into the back, and whenever you're ready, Robin, I'll take that question on. You just, bring it up and we'll move on to that. So in the back, those quads, right? So depending on the size square footage they're going to let us do, right? If they let us do 800 or 1,000 or 700, it's all going to depend on how we set up the living structure back there. But usually people will set up that quad and make 4 different housing units. Our plan moving forward with these is to do more of an independent living, more of a studio-based setup. So each unit will have multiple studios inside of them. So they're going to be almost like a micro unit inside of a unit. So you're talking about a quad that maybe, say, for instance, they let us do 1,000 square feet. Our plan is to put 200 up front and then put 200 across the line. So that would give us 4 micro units that we could put in that 1,000 square foot unit, that 1,000 square foot unit property.
And
So
Robin,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, just to answer your question, Robin, when you say quad, Matt, you mean a fourplex, a 4-unit property?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So as you know, so if you look at what a quad, so say if we got 1,000 square foot unit, that unit might rent for $2,000, maybe $2,200, not sure, right? It depends on how you set it up. If you're going to make it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, however you set it up, you can get that, you can get a pretty good substantial amount of money. What we're doing is breaking that into 4s. You take that each one, and that micro unit might bring you $1,000, right? So now you're getting, instead of bringing $2,200 to $2,500 a unit, you're now pulling in $4,000 minimum a unit. So now those 4 units now bring you $1,600, $16,000 a month for those units. So those are the type of things we're looking to do to expand in this community. And at the end of the day, let's be realistic. They are hurting for housing, right? At the end of the day, you can go on independent living right now, and there's a backlog of people looking for somewhere to stay at, somewhere to live at, for $1,000, $1,500 in those price range. So getting tenants is not going to be hard. It's when you get above that, even at 2,200, you're not going to have a problem. But if you can expand your portfolio to get more people in to a set space and get more money out of it, that's what we want to do, right? So if anybody has any questions about that build out, please let me know now, and then Adam's going to kind of talk about what we're doing on the funding side. Cool. All right, go ahead, Adam.
Thanks. So, Matt, thank you. So just a little bit more about myself. I'm a real estate and business attorney. I work with a lot of clients like Matt who are working with real estate in different ways, whether they have businesses that are more retail, commercial tenants, or they're real estate developers like Matt, and they're looking to maximize the value of the property. And what Matt's describing here is taking advantage of the new ADU laws that just took effect in California in 2020, which allow for a lot of these additions and conversions of garages under an expedited process. So what we're looking at now is setting up a very structured way for people to become involved, for people to invest in what we're looking to do, and basically become lenders for these projects. Now, with the timelines and the scopes of work that Matt's going to perform on this property to maximize the profit potential, we're still looking at most a 6-month window. And that's the sweet spot that we're looking to stay under, just for a lot of reasons, mainly to have some flexibility and, keep up with the market. There are a lot of things going on right now, and having shorter timelines with these projects gives us a lot more ability to stay ahead of things if there is a downturn. Now, keep in mind with this type of project, since we're adding 1-2 income streams with the extra properties, extra units, that gives us the ability to stay above the market if there is a downturn, to weather any storm if the market rates were to drop in terms of housing prices, to have one house now triplex, basically, that gives us a lot of ability to sustain whatever happens. So with the group now, we're inviting people to basically come in as lenders under the 6 month term with a minimum commitment of $2,500, and what Matt's describing in terms of allowing everybody who is getting invested to be very I wouldn't say hands on, but there's a lot of transparency involved, and we're giving people visibility into the project, both on the legal side and on the construction side. So you can see exactly what he's doing. You can see exactly what kind of permits, what kind of process we're going through, because we want people to be able to learn from this process as much as be able to profit and invest from this process as well. So, with that project, we do see it as something we can replicate and repeat down the line. So we want to bring in people now on the ground floor to give them the ability to become involved, invest what they are comfortable with investing. And then for future projects that have a little bit more to ask, a little bit more upside, then those people who have invested in the past have priority to become involved in future projects. So, if there's things you want to learn now to figure out how to get more involved in the San Diego market or real estate in general, this is a great way to do it and make money on top of that. And if anybody has any questions about the structure that we're looking to use, the reason why we're using a loan, or the timeline for the 6 months, please, you can raise your hand on the bottom of the screen, or you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
And I would just say, I would encourage everybody to ask as many questions as
Right.
possible. I mean, you're not gonna get too many times where you're gonna have a resource like Adam available to ask a bunch of questions. So ask away. I would say that. Also, understand that this project here is probably one of our one-offs. It's a special project. A lot of projects don't run like this. They do run. I mean, you do get. I mean, if you look on the market, there is properties coming up in the threes right now. As people are able to kick people out of their homes and evict them, the prices of property will drop. But right now, the issue is nobody's going to buy a piece of property that has a tenant in that you don't know when you're going to be able to get them out. So that is why right now San Diego is a hot market, because at the end of the day, if you already have a piece of property that somebody's out, once you flip it up, there is a ton of buyers looking to buy homes. Mm-hmm. But what there's not is a ton of homes, because nobody has to leave their house right now. So when everybody's able to leave their house, there's going to be a flood on the market, right? But at the same time, there's still going to be a flood of buyers looking to move into a new home. So, and if you can fix them up, make them nice. If you've seen what we did at Olivewood Terrace, you do something, you redo it, make it really, really nice, give it an open floor plan. There's going to be a buyer waiting for you. So again, we have those situations set up. We have a way for you guys. We could teach you guys how to utilize those skills, utilize that process, learn how to be a part of a situation like this and grow, right? I mean, right now we're doing homes. Soon we'll be in apartments. Next we'll be doing, bigger structures. So at the end of the day, we want you guys to get on the ground floor, so that when we do get to these bigger and better things, that you guys are on the floor with us. You guys have seen the process, so you're not scared, or you understand what's going on, right? The whole thing we're trying to get everybody to do is have some understanding, because at the end of the day, this is just like the stock market, anything else. If you don't understand it, it seems scary. Once you understand it, you feel like they're giving money away, right? So I want you guys to get to the point where you look at this and go, man, I looked at this house. Oh, they're giving money away. I know we can flip this. We could put 50 into this and make 100,000. So I want you to have that kind of eye. So that's why when we do these process, when I start this demo, I'm going to invite you guys out. Take a look at the demo. Look at what's behind these walls. Look at how easy it is to put up the drywall, or have an electrician come in and work through this process. I want you guys to, because at the end of the day, when you see the house, if you've seen the video, it looks like a lot, right? You look at it, oh man, this house is tore up, but it's all cosmetic, right? Once you run that electrical, it's a cosmetic job. Pretty much you're just taking down the old stuff and putting up new stuff. And it's a very, very fast fix. So I just want you guys to understand that. I want you guys to start having that eye. So when you do see these things, you guys feel comfortable walking into it and going, oh, you know what? Matt told me about this, or Adam, we walked through this. This is something I can easily, walk in and fix. And I have a team that can help me, right? So at the end of the day, we build a structure together. you guys might, you might not jump in on this deal. You might not jump on the next one, but you might come to me and say, hey, Matt, I got something for you. I got something for us. Let's look at this deal. I got, this guy saying he's willing to sell it for 250. We go in, look at it. Well, if we fix this up, it'll be worth 5. So let's make it work. So again, this isn't just about, taking you guys and say, hey, we need some money, right? We don't need the money for the deal. We kind of recovered. But what I do want to do is open up an environment that you guys feel comfortable coming in, you feel comfortable investing, you feel comfortable learning about the process so that we can all become rich at some point, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the goal. That's why I would encourage you right now that you have Adam, you have me, ask questions. They don't matter, nothing, there's no such thing as a stupid question, right? At the end of the day, everything is, everything will work.
And I'm sorry, man, I kind of missed the first couple minutes of the meeting. So I pretty much see that we're here to, talking about the investment side of it. And in real estate, there's a term called like bird dogs.
Yep.
Where basically, is that what you're looking for from us?
No. So all I'm looking for and what we're looking for, Derek, is pretty much to put together a team, right? Mm-hmm. So that team is pretty much, you can be one of a couple things, right? At the end of the day, you can be an investor, you can be somebody that brings in projects, or you can be somebody that's just willing to learn, right? Like at the end of the day, what I don't want is somebody just coming in, just hanging around, nothing like that, right? If you come in, you want to learn the process, I'm gonna teach it to you. You want to come in, you want to learn the process, then invest. We're gonna work together, right? Just like how me and you talked before. At the end of the day, if you want to come down, walk through the whole process. We look through everything. I walk you through how at each step of the process. That's what I'm looking to do, because at the end of the day, I know you, right? I know once you get comfortable with the process, you're gonna be like, man, I know where to go look. Okay, boom, 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 and then all of a sudden, now you bring one back to me. Now we can both work on that one. And all of a sudden now you say, okay, well, I already brought Matt this one. We already got a team that's willing to put 10, 15, 100. I'll put it like this. On the deal we're just doing right now, Adam brought a guy to the table that's gonna bring a 160 in. I met we got another guy named Matt. He's bringing in 160. The guy who's bringing me the deal said, you know what, man, you got 160, man, I'll cover the other 60,000. That's the house right there, right? So now my budget is only the $100,000 that I need to do the flip, right? So it was just that easy, right? Everybody, people look at me, they talking to me, they feel comfortable. They say, you know what, man, I look at the project, this is a great project, I want in. And it was just that simple, right? They're getting a 10% return on their money in 6 months. We bought the project outright. So at the end of the day, if worst come to worst, we sell the project, we make $50,000, $60,000, everybody gets paid off, and we just walk away. And that's worst case scenario. Best case scenario, you still make your money. We turn around, we look at the back, we say, hey, who wants to jump back in and let's do the quads in the back? We do the quads in the back, we finish that up. I got another property over on Superior, we go work on that one. And then I got another property somewhere else, and then we start looking at apartments and things like that. So that is the goal.
All right, perfect. Appreciate that.
No worries.
We got a couple questions in the queue in the chat. So real quick, I just wanted to clarify one thing. So we are talking about right now, because I do see one question talking about if there's a market downturn, losing your investment. So what we are talking about here, again, for giving everybody clarity and certainty, these are loans. So when we're talking about loans, there's a guaranteed return, and if there is, for whatever reason, a default on their loan, there are late fees, there's penalties, there's ways to collect on the loan if there isn't a payment on what we are lending from or what we're borrowing. So that's something I just want everybody to be clear about. This isn't necessarily like a lottery ticket or a lottery play. This is a guaranteed return on your loan investment, and that's going to be locked in if you were to sign a loan agreement. Now, we also have some questions, Matt, about the timeline, just the start date, and then how long it might take, what that 6 months could look like. Can you give a little more clarity on that?
Yeah, so usually what happens is you get the property, right? You do a multi-purpose permit to do demoing and things like that. It gets approved usually in a couple of days, maybe a week or so, and then you start the process, right? Once that process starts, you demo down. All right, and everybody knows what a demo looks like. I'm sure we've all seen the DIY network where you demo it down to nothing, right? Then we have somebody come in. We'll have somebody look at the electricity, right? If the electricity looks good, if all the wires are run right, or if they're not too old, then we're good to go, right? If they are, then that's the next process. We'll change those out, right? Once those have been changed out, once that we put the insulation back in, then we will drywall back up, and then we'll build from there, right? At the end of the day, once that goes up, then you start putting in all the goodies, right? So the good thing about a project like this is when you don't have, you pray that you don't have any hiccups, but when you go into a project and it feels solid, right? At the end of the day, when you walked in this project, the floors are solid, the walls are solid, right? You're looking into the ceiling, you're looking around the house. We dug under the house. There's no mold, there's no water leaking anywhere, there's no lights flickering. It's just old, right? The house is just old. The guy who used to live there, I knew him my whole life. His name was Mr. Jonesy. He used to work down at a liquor store. He took care of the house. It was just old, right? He just didn't want to buy anything new. So at the end of the day, the house is in good condition. It's just an older home. So at the end of, what we're looking at, we're saying 6 months, probably won't be 6 months, but at the same time, you leave yourself a window so that if anything does go wrong, if the garage permit comes a little later, if the addition permit comes a little later, we put those permits in from the beginning. And those permits usually take maybe 2 months, maybe 2.5, or, maybe 8 weeks worse, right? So you leave time for those permits to come in, right? But the house should be finished first. And then once the house is finished, we'll actually get a renter in there. And then we'll start working on the conversion, and then we'll start working on the addition. So again, that the process is there. And then if you come in as a debt, right? So back to what Adam was saying, there's no equity play, right? So at the end of the day, if it's an equity play, then if we, it's one of those situations like if we lose, you lose if it's an equity play. But because you guys are coming in, anybody that invests will be a debt play, right? Which means you collect your debt first. You don't have to worry about that, right? It doesn't matter if the market turns. It doesn't matter what happens. If something does go wrong, we still pay the investors back out, and we just keep the property. Worst case scenario, we rent it out, which we're going to do with this property anyway, right? So this property wouldn't make a difference regardless, because I plan to keep this property. This is my baby. I love it. This is the perfect property for me. So at the end of the day, it wouldn't make a difference if the market turned upside down. We're keeping this bad boy. So you don't have, things on like that you wouldn't have to worry about. But you are right? If you do go into business, you do an equity side deal, right? Understand equity means you own a piece of the house. There's always a chance for you to have some kind of issues, right? If the market does turn in that situation, you could have a problem. But again, we're in San Diego, right? So, and you buy houses with a lot of margin in, right? So think about this. We bought this house for $386, right? So even if we fix this house up, made it a 3.2, we put 60 into it with the garage conversion, and maybe say we couldn't do the addition. That house, even with just that 3.2 and that garage conversion, I would imagine would be $575 on the low end, right? The very, very low end, even with a down market. I'm talking about giving the house away. You'd give it away for $575. So at the end of the day, you're looking at things like that. It's going to be hard unless the market, like I said, unless it goes upside down completely. You're not going to lose in this market. Any questions?
There's another question about how we are finding these deals, wholesaling.
So there's a myriad of ways, right? At the end of the day, I would say start looking at Zillow, start looking at Zip Realty, right? And then there's also there are also people that, like Derek said, they're bird dog, right? So you got to find wholesalers. You got to find guys that they do it for a living, and then you can look at. So I'll put it like this: what you can also do is when you do look at Zip Realty or anything like this, if you look at the houses that are on foreclosure, you can technically find out who these people are, right? So there's something called skip tracing. So once you find out the address of, say if you go on Zip Realty and says, hey, there's an address that's a foreclosure, you can technically get a hold of somebody that's a skip address, and they can literally give you everything about that, who owns that house. They're probably 10 phone numbers, 5 last address. They'll give you a myriad of things. And then at that time, it's just really doing your due diligence. So, I would say do your due diligence at that point, make the calls. If you get a hold of the person, just say, hey, look, I seen your house, there's some issues. Would you be willing to sell the house? And then 9 times out of 10, you're going to get a no, right? But at the end of the day, we're actually setting a structure up for that too, right? So if you guys do end up staying along with us, we're going to build a structure and put it in place that even if you guys do run into something like that, we can have something where it wouldn't be so much as you making that call, but as a team, we'll have a team where somebody will make that call and have somebody like Adam on the line. Because think about it like this. If I'm losing my house and a random person calls me, I might not want to talk to them, right? If I call myself and say, hey, I know you're losing your house, I don't want to talk to you. But if I call myself and say, hey, look, I got a special program, and I got a real estate lawyer that's willing to do a free consultation for you. Huh? Well, I'll listen. So at the end of the day, we got, again, we're building a team, we're building the right things in place. We're just getting people in the ground floor, right? So at the end of the day, I just want to understand, if you guys want to be a part of it, that's fine. But we're just building a group right now of people that just want to learn and get rich at some point.
Pierre, you got a question? I'll tell you, raise your hand real quick. No, okay. We're talking about the potential return on investment, the minimum investment. Matt, we did say 2,500, correct?
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. At the end of the day, I just want people to be involved. I mean, it's not even really about the money right now. It's we could, we did talk before, we did say a little bit more, but my whole thing is I want you to be involved. So, and if you don't feel comfortable putting the money in at first, I say come down, learn what we're doing, learn the situation, get a feel for the environment first before you start doing it, and then you're gonna get comfortable quick, because you're gonna see the potential as soon as you come down and start seeing what's sold in this area, what's selling over here, and the prices they're selling for. I would tell you this: if you want to look at Florence Street, the one we just picked up, go to Florence Street, go on Zillow, and then look at what's sold in that area, and then look at what's sold compared to what we're trying to do, right? So if you say, okay, Matt, they did a 3-2, they're going to do a 3-2 with a extra property, with 2 extra pieces of property, just go look in that area what's sold in that area for that for that size, and you're going to see it in the 7s, right? So at the end of the day, just that piece of property without putting the quad on it sells in the 7s. So you're gonna immediately be like, holy crap, they're on to something, right? So I want you guys to do the research. I want you guys to understand what's going on, and when you do, come back and let's talk. Because at the end of the day, this is a gold mine that a lot of people aren't looking into right now, because it's one of the more, some of these areas are some of the, the opportunity zones or some of the poorer areas, but they're really where diversity is happening, right? I even where my mom lives down the street from there, her neighbor's white now. We got 2 white guys that moved in. There's a white guy that walks his dog every day down to the store, and the store is super hood, right? I mean, there's gangbangers down there, there's everything down there, and he's walking his dog right past him. So at the end of the day, it's coming. We all know it's coming. Why not get on the ground floor? Because soon these houses won't be affordable, right? At the end of the day, even you can ask Adam. I'm selling the house right now. And we just got an offer today on Olivewood Terrace, and it's a 3-3 with a studio in the back. And I mean, literally, we're asking $525. I got it for $360. We put 40 into it, and when we're asking $525. And at the end of the day, this house is 3 doors down from crackheads. Basically, I'm gonna be realistic. I mean, they're literally smoking crack 2 doors down, and I'm getting $525 for my house, and it is what it is, right? They're coming. The white people, they're coming. So at the end of the day, let's, before you can get in and get what you need to get, let's win. Let's get this money.
Did I miss a date when you said come on down and check out the property?
No. So what'll happen is, again, if I'll stay in touch. We start to build a group. What'll happen as soon as I get the demo permit, we'll just say, hey, look, we're gonna start the demo on this day. That day we start the demo, I'll invite everybody down. And what I'll do too is we'll kind of start in the evening. So the first day we won't start that morning. We'll start in the evening. So I know people got to work. And if we run a little late, we'll just kind of walk through it, and we'll just kind of show people like, hey, this is what happens. This is what the demo looks like. This is what goes on through that process, because it's a fast process, right? I mean, putting it up takes a long time. Taking the stuff down, man, it goes quick, right? It might be 2 days. So, that's why we're going to really say, hey, look, we're going to demo these days. We're going to bring people down so you can understand what it looks like. And then once you see that part, okay, boom, electrical. Then you start seeing the drywall. And any part of that process you want to understand or learn more about, we'll let you know the days we're going to be doing them, and you just come down and take a look. Was there any other questions, or was there any other?
Oh, you asked about the demolition team. Robin did. So Matt, you're going to handle all the demolition, the construction, all the work yourself with your crews, correct?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, so you got to think about this. A lot of times, and what we do, a lot of this, part of this too, is owner builder, right? So I mean, I own the property. Me and my partner do a lot of the work, and that's where a lot of the savings come in too, right? We're not bringing in a ton of people. My partner technically is a he's a builder. He plumbs, electrical, drywall, everything. So at the end of the day, we're building this house ourselves. Now we do bring in people that are specialists, right? We might bring in somebody if the house needs to be rewired, you bring in an electrical. If you need, if there's certain things like when we go to do the mud and stucco the walls or stucco the outside, those type of things, we'll bring somebody in. Definitely the outside, we'll bring somebody in. But even like if we're gonna mud the walls, we might bring in somebody that's really, really good at it to hit the walls for us, maybe for a couple $1,000, just so we can have it the way we want it. But I mean, for the most part, that's why we want you guys to come down, because a lot of this stuff is not hard. It's just understanding how to do it. Once you understand how to do it, you go, oh man, a lot of this stuff I can do myself. So that's half of the reason why we want you guys to come down and see the process, because it's not a big deal like you got to bring a bunch of teams in and do all this stuff. It's really just about setting yourself up the right way, planning the right hours, and putting the work in. That's all it really is.
I see a question about the potential return. So just to kind of run through the numbers that we talked about before, the lenders under the 6-month timeline looking at about a 10% return on your investment. So with the 2,500, that'd be 250 over the 6 months, and then kind of go up from there.
And really understand too the structure behind this. What the goal of this is, hierarchy system, right? Where at the end of the day, if you're in on the ground floor and you're putting in investments, when we do get to apartment complex, when we do get to these other deals, we're going to look to the people who have already been putting in work with us, right? So, I mean, if you do come in on the ground floor, we're not going to say, hey, you know what, John's been here, 6 months with us, but this new guy has more money. Well, I don't care if he has more money. The guy who's been down with us for 6 months, he's going to get the first right to add whatever he wants to add. And if we need more, then we'll go to that other guy to supplement, or, we'll figure it out. But at the end of the day, if you guys are on the ground floor with us, then, we're going to put you in on the deal first.
And if you want to keep staying involved, put your email in the chat just so I have it, and I'll make sure I note that everybody was here. Everybody's, again, on the ground floor, continuing on with this.
All right, cool. So, I mean, if nobody has any questions, and again, feel free to hit us up at any point.
Yeah, I'll
but
put my email in the chat too.
If anybody has any questions, let us know. But if not, it's good talking to you guys, and I hope to hear from you soon.
So lastly, this is just like, I like this show, fix and flip. But with
Pretty much, man.
All right. So all this is just really fix and flip. All right, cool.
Yeah, man. This all it is, man. At the end of the day, look, I'm not gonna pay somebody to go down there and fix my house if we can do it ourselves.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? And Derek, I'm gonna be realistic with you, man. If you look in that area code, like I sent you where that house was. If you look in that bubble where that house is, there's nothing for sale. And when it does come up for sale, it either needs a ton of work or it's already done and they want $600 for it. So if we can get in, like I put it like this, there's a house right now down there for $385, I think, right? It's a 3-1. And I was looking at it, got a decent sized yard. That house right there, technically, it's another project. I mean, you can grab that house for 3-1. It's $385. You can make it a 3-2, and you can put an ADU in the back. Turn around side of the house for $750. It might cost us $100 to do it. But again, we got so many projects right now, ain't no need grabbing it. But if we bring a team together, we could easily grab that next house, 385, 3-2, ADU in the back, done. Quick 700.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I said, there's projects that are just going to be falling. That's why we're bringing this team together. So at the end of the day, we can have 3-4 projects moving in once, and then we all, hey, I eat a little bit here, you eat a little bit there, you put a little bit here, and then we're all making it work, man. And then eventually we start moving into apartment complex, and then we start moving into, commercial buildings and things like that. Maybe we go buy a strip mall, So it starts here, right? It starts here, and let's be realistic. At the end of the day, me and Adam, we're moving and grooving, right? So at the end of the day, we already projecting this is gonna happen regardless.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys want to be a part of it, I'm happy to bring everybody with me, but we already we're making some moves, so it's gonna happen regardless.
Yeah. Okay. I appreciate you guys, man.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Appreciate everybody for coming. Anybody else have a question? Robin Tyrell, you have any?
Oh, you still on mute.
I got your email, Derek. How many projects thus far?
So we've done it. I mean, you got all together. This is probably the first one we're working on as a group, but I mean, I've done several. We've done flips in Atlanta. We've done flips Dallas. We're doing flip. You know, this is our third one here. So I mean, they're starting to pile up, and we're already on three, right? So we have this one. I have Superior, which is another two houses and a garage conversion on one lot that comes next month, and then we have another project we're working on, or we're trying to close a deal on now. That may be a month and a half off. So, I mean, technically, we got 3 deals coming in the next 2 months.
Yeah.
So, all right. And if anybody does have a question about what does the end process look like, you can just go to Zillow or just go to Google and look at the house that I have right now that's already finished. It's at 419 Olivewood Terrace. You can just type it in, right? Just go in 419 Olivewood Terrace. And you can see what a finished product looks like, right? And if anybody has any real questions about what it looked like from the beginning, I can send you before pictures, and you can see the after pictures, and you can see why this is such a good setup.
I just put the email in the chat for people.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm not gonna take too much more of you guys' time. I appreciate it.
I'll put my email and my phone number in there too. So if anybody has questions, please reach out. You know, we're happy to answer questions and, you know, keep everybody in the loop. So everybody, appreciate your time. Thank you for coming. We'll be in touch soon.
Thanks.
Talk to you guys later. Thank you.